Next morning, Bjorn went to the magic tower. He thought that the letter he received yesterday was real, which also meant he should act like he was trying to figure out what it was, so he could appear ignorant in front of others. He showed the letter to Raven, who told him he must have made himself known to others. Bjorn was confused by what she meant. Then she told him that everyone gets one when they become a bit famous, so he didn't need to worry too much about it. She added that if he had come to her right away, she could have checked the writing, but now it was probably gone. Bjorn checked the letter again and saw it was now just a plain piece of paper. Raven asked Bjorn if he was curious about what the evil spirits would have written in it. Bjorn acted confused and asked, "Evil spirits?" Raven said she forgot to tell him that the letter was from an evil spirit. Bjorn acted surprised and said he didn't know it was a letter and praised Raven. He was acting too stupid. Who would fall for that? Well, Raven did. She was very proud of herself and said she thought most people wouldn't know that. Then she asked Bjorn if there was a pill in the letter and if he knew what it was. Bjorn said he had no clue. She told him that it was made by a mage who was very skilled in psychological and dimensional magic, as well as alchemy. If he took it, he could enter a specific spirit realm. This time, Bjorn was really confused and asked what a spirit realm was. Raven told him to think of it as a different dimension, where he would leave his body behind, but his consciousness would be elsewhere. Then she explained on a green board like a teacher. If he took the pill, he would be called to the spirit realm every 15 days. They would likely exchange information there. Many had tried to infiltrate the spirit realm to get information, but were found dead the next day. Bjorn would have been screwed if he had taken it. Raven told him not to take it, even if he was curious. Bjorn asked Raven if that meant it was poison. Raven asked Bjorn how he saw the mages and told him that the medicine didn't have poison in it. Bjorn asked why people died then. Raven told him there were many theories, but the most believable one was that the spirits could tell who was and wasn't an evil spirit. So they cut off the invader's soul from their body. This meant some player Bjorn didn't even know about would have his life in their hands. Then Raven said she remembered one more important thing. People look like their souls in that realm, so they couldn't tell what they actually looked like in the city. Didn't she know too much about a realm where normal people of this world didn't come back alive? Bjorn asked if she couldn't just use magic to tell who had taken the pills. She said they couldn't do that, and there was no way to figure it out. Otherwise, all the evil spirits would have been caught. Then she told Bjorn it was time to start today's test. She would start by drawing his blood. Bjorn started thinking that since anonymity was really guaranteed, and he could acquire information from there, perhaps he had also found a way to get back to reality. So, should he take it? Bjorn was busy thinking about it, and Raven was excited to start her evil experiments on Bjorn's body. Bjorn kept thinking about it, and no matter how many times he thought about it, he decided it was best to take it. The decision Bjorn made after a careful comparison of the risks and returns was that if it was a dangerous pill, then the community wouldn't even exist. But that didn't mean he would take it immediately. Even if it was anonymous, the one who sent the invitation would know who the newcomer was. For example, if Bjorn was the only one who had recently received the letter, they would know who he was as soon as he entered the community. So, if he was going to take it, he would do so after 3 to 6 months from now, since he was not in urgent need of the information right now. 15 days since coming back from the labyrinth. In the research lab on the higher floors of the magic tower, a man was speaking to someone on a magic crystal, calling her Soul Queen and asking her about the newcomer this time. Soul Queen told him that they didn't come. Then, the mage said that he must not have been a player then. Soul Queen asked him what he would do about the letters he postponed sending. He said that they shouldn't delay sending them any longer just because of him, and that she should send them out in order. This mage had high expectations because he heard that he had. Well, whatever, he was waiting for someone. But now it looked like Bjorn wasn't him this time either. I don't know if this mage is male or female, But if the person this mage is waiting for is Bjorn's real self, then maybe this mage is Bjorn's real self, his ex-girlfriend. Again, I'm just saying what I was thinking. After that, in an Explorer Guild branch, Bjorn got promoted to 6th rank Explorer. Every day, Bjorn took care of the things he needed to, like homework, which made time flow faster. During all of that, he spent monster stones like water. He wasn't sad about it since he used them on things he needed. He got a new heavy mace that cost him 400,000 stones and enchantment of acidity resistance on his shield and armor for 510,000 stones. He also got something absolutely necessary for the protection of his privacy when he was a giant. Family jewel protection pants for a whopping 900,000 stones. They had enchantments for automatic recovery, shape-shifting, and resistance to acidity. Misha said it must be hard for him to find one that fits him. Bjorn asked her about her new twin blades. They were 70% the size of a standard longsword and named Leisha's twin blades, costing 550,000 stones. She also got the blood of a beast for leveling up her spirit beast, which cost 200,000 stones. Thanks to that, she could now imbue her weapon attacks with her ice element. He was very proud of it and asked Bjorn what he thought of it. Bjorn put a finger in his ear and told her that her movements were still a bit awkward and that she should practice more. Bjorn also reached level 2 of his immortal seal. Sorry for the name confusion. I sometimes use the words undead seal and immortal seal interchangeably, but both are the same thing, so don't get confused. Getting it to level 2 only cost Bjorn 100,000 stones. Compared to others, it was still cheap but not easy. It only took 10 minutes for the second level, but the pain was as if the 12 hours of pain he felt during the first level were condensed into those 10 minutes. Pain tolerance did not work on it. A shaman asked Bjorn to pick one stick, and he would look at his fate. Bjorn picked one randomly. The shaman took it from him and started reading it. Bjorn was a bit nervous. The shaman asked Bjorn about his birthday. Bjorn was shocked that barbarians knew their birthdays. The old man laughed and said he was just kidding. How would a warrior know such a thing? Bjorn got angry and asked him about his fate. The old man told him that whether it be good or bad, all the things that others experience maybe once in their lives, he was fated to experience countless times. This was the fate of those they commonly called heroes. Bjorn didn't care what he said, because he thought that nothing would change anyway, and he just needed to do what he needed to do, so he could endure whatever problem he might face. Then Misha came and told Bjorn to have breakfast. After that, Bjorn went to receive his third seal. The shaman said he had never seen someone receive their third seal so fast. Then he told Bjorn he had 3 routes ahead of him: the spirit of flames, the spirit of hard steel, and the spirit of wilderness. He explained their features and powers, which were the same as in the game. So Bjorn decided to take the spirit of wilderness. As always, the shaman started his work and Bjorn started screaming. The third level of spirit seal cost him 200,000 stones. His resistance to physical attacks and fire tolerance increased. His power and physical stats also increased. These were the basic stat increases. The main thing he got from the Spirit of Wilderness was the skill Wild Outburst. The seal also greatly increased his basic threat level. This meant that all he had to do was breathe to aggro the monsters. The skill Wild Outburst also temporarily increased his threat level 3-fold, along with his physical stats. On top of that, if he used Giantification, it would also greatly increase his threat level. Maybe at that level, even his teammates might want to beat him. Bjorn was imagining what he could do with this when the shaman quietly came and spoke in his ear that he looked tired and could leave now. This scared Bjorn. As he was leaving, the shaman stopped him and said there was something about his fate that he didn't tell him yesterday. Bjorn asked what that was. The shaman told him to beware of those with a lot of hatred in their hearts, because he seemed to attract them to him. If he could resolve their hatred, it would be good for him. If he couldn't, it would come back to bite him. Bjorn told him he was leaving. When he got out of there, Anar called him. She was hiding in the bushes. Bjorn asked what she was doing there. Anar told Bjorn to be quiet, as it would be bad if she got discovered there. She called Bjorn to her and said she heard from the elder that he earned the title Little Falcon. Bjorn said it was not a big deal. Anar asked Bjorn what happened and wanted to know the overall story. After hearing it, she said she was worried since he was alone, but since he was in the same team as the dwarf, that was good. Then Bjorn said it was okay, but wondered why she looked so thin. Didn't the elder feed her? She said it wasn't that. She was just condensing her muscles. Bjorn was confused. Anar said she didn't really know what it meant either. Then a loud voice called out, asking where she ran off to this time. She said she had to go and thanked Bjorn for the story, asking him to visit her again. Bjorn asked if it would be all right. She said it was okay. She just had to train twice as much and could give up on sleep. Bjorn thought that was even more worrying. As Bjorn started to leave, Anar called him again, saying she almost forgot to say this, but she was glad he looked like he was doing well. Bjorn was a little surprised. Anar told him that back then, he was full of determination to survive, and that wasn't bad either. But he looked more relaxed now. Maybe it was because his new friends were trustworthy. She said she would come back as a more trustworthy warrior, leaving Bjorn in confusion and shock that he had gotten relaxed without noticing it.